Good evening, people. Welcome back to the channel. Um, Sorry for the delayed live shows. There's been a bit of a technical issues, but it's all sorted out now. Today is Halloween, but unfortunately for the rest of the Premier League, Mr. Habib's nightmare is over. How are you doing, Habib?
Hi, Rishti. I'm good. It's been a while. A lot has changed since the last time we spoke. Yeah, as you said, the nightmare is over. He's been a dead man walking for a while.
Yeah,
He's put out, he's tried to come out fighting, but he's never been entirely convincing. Um,
yeah,
and I think it's about time.
yeah. It's just the writing was on the wall. Like I said, when the season started, like the minute he gets two losses in a row or a loss in a row, and
Mm,
then all the rumors will start picking up again about his
mm.
replacement and that. And especially
Yeah,
with the
I
rule
think.
being there, so all the cameras were
mm,
on him whenever they
mm.
could and all those things. So
And
yeah,
I also think that they always had it at the back of their mind, because if you look at how quickly they moved for Amorim,
yeah,
it's clearly they've been talking to him, because you don't just appoint managers this quickly.
yeah. But they
So
did it. Yeah, they said they spoke to him like a few weeks. They started speaking to him a few weeks ago.
mm, yeah, for me, while I'm happy that Ten Hag he has left, I still feel that they shouldn't have given him extended his contract and then go and spend another 200 million pounds.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense, because now you have to pay him a bigger compensation. They have to now pay him 15 million pounds. They're going to have to get rid of his backroom staff as well. I don't know if Venezuela is going to stay. I doubt it. I still doubt he's going to stay. But yeah, it doesn't make sense, because I don't know how these players, if all the players are going to fit into Ambrim's system. Because from what I've
mm.
heard, he likes to play a three-man defense.
But that's most why they got rid of Fergie to make more money available to sack Den Haag apparently. But
All
yeah,
2 million.
but I also mentioned, I think when we spoke about, oh, maybe it was to Khalid, I can't remember. I think you were on holiday that time. That there is a possibility also that the transfers were made for the next manager as well,
Mm,
because I'm sure they wouldn't spend that amount of money when just a few months ago they were speaking to other managers. You know what I mean?
mm.
So even though it might have been what Ten Hag wanted, it was also in line with the clubs what they're trying to do, because you have new people in charge now. So you're not going to get new people in charge and then just spend all of the money based on the old system of the way they did things. Do you know what I mean? So, but I
Mazraoui.
suppose we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think like a
yeah,
Yoro or the leaked Mazraoui, they can fit into the new system.
yeah,
Xerxes, I'm not. I'm too. Doesn't matter which manager's in charge. I'm very unsure about Xerxes. I
yeah,
think he just look like a big lump up front. I
yeah.
haven't seen any real quality from him. And then Ugarte, I think, will fit into a system, because I think any team needs
He played
a
with
number
him.
six, basically. Yeah. So I think any team needs a number six. I think he's probably managed him when he was at Sporting as well. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
they
he
were
did.
if Ugarte played for him while
Yeah,
he
he did.
was
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He
Yeah.
left to
So
PSG while
yeah,
Amarim
yeah,
was there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, he's familiar with his style of play.
yeah,
Yeah, I still feel like I'm unsure, not because of the manager, but because of the club itself.
mm,
It's
yeah,
too many good managers have come in, and they've just withered away. Basically, you can't tell me that Jose Mourinho, Louis Van Gaal,
yeah,
even Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag is not a bad manager,
yeah,
but I think it's the club. But hopefully, with the new structures in play, because we obviously it's still very early with under Ineos. We can't expect to see any major changes.
yeah,
But hopefully, in the next 2-3 years, we'll see proper changes.
yeah. But the only difference with all those managers and now is literally the Ineos factor. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because obviously the other
Mm.
managers, Van Gaal and Jose, they were all better, higher caliber manager than Amarim. But the
Yeah.
difference is the structure and the recruitment. We'll have to see what
Yeah,
they do
and I
next
think
summer and in January, if they do anything
and
in January.
and Amorim is going to be their manager now. It's not going to be
Yeah,
a manager that they inherited, like Ranieri was there when Abramovich took over Chelsea, for
Yeah.
instance. This is
Yes.
their, you know.
They pick, yeah.
Yeah.
But also because of the money that they did spend, and with FFP and PSR, and like
Mm,
one of the things he has to do is he has to be able to improve the players that he inherits as well.
mm.
You can't just wait until he has 11 Amarim players to show signs of progress. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
definitely. And
Because
look, I don't
the way
think
he
the
did
squad is
before.
that bad. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think the
yeah.
squad is really
You're not
that
the
bad. It's
14th place squad.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Do I think it's a squad that can challenge for the title? No, but I
Mm.
think they can challenge for the Champions League. But not this season. I think this
Europa
season
League, you mean?
it's gone. Yeah, it's gone already. They can finish maybe sixth. But next
Why is it
season,
gone?
how many
You
points are
know,
they? Do you really think he's going to come in
I think it's
and
6 points
yeah?
of Chelsea. 6 points behind Chelsea. I'm
But
just opening the log quickly.
they, I, I still think it's too much of an ask for them.
Yeah.
6 points off after 9 games. I mean, the thing is, we don't know what kind of performances he's going to get out of them immediately.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you don't want to put that kind of pressure on him as well. I think if he finishes sixth or seventh, I think they'll take it. It's not a. I think
So
we just have to
you
write the season off now.
so you on 11 points and Villa's in fourth place on 18. But
Yeah,
Chelsea, if fifth spot gets a place, and then it's 17, so 6 points
mm.
for that.
But the thing is, Villa have been looking really good, and you're now hoping
Yeah,
that
they
those
actually
teams drop more points
drop
than
off.
United.
Yeah,
Yeah, with Villa, maybe because of Champions League, but I haven't. I mean, they've played 3 games already in the Champions League, and they haven't really seen a, a drop off yet from
a
them.
drop in the league. Yeah,
Mm.
but I'm sure it will come. There's still a long season and festive
So it's a very,
fixtures
yeah,
and all those. But at least now
yeah,
they're out of the League Cup, so they have a bit of rest actually.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so these are the fixtures for the week. So your game. Let's start with your game because these um the biggest fixture on paper out of the weekend.
Hmm.
So for this game, according to the latest reports, Ruud is gonna stay in charge until the international
Yeah,
break.
yeah,
So in terms of tactics, obviously you're not gonna employ new tactics because the new manager hasn't arrived and the old one has left. So
yeah.
what do you think they do on Sunday? Is just gonna be like vibes, or just I don't know. What do you think? How
So
do they get
I
the
watched the
result in this one?
I watched the game last night against Leicester, and it was almost very much the same as Undertaker Ten Hag. Very much just
Mm.
like an NBA game, as you attack, then I attack. But the difference was that they actually scored last night.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah. And
scored.
they didn't.
They
They
scored
wasted
quite a
all the
few goals.
chances against West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that was a difference. So I do think they're going to have to be a bit more circumspect against Chelsea because Chelsea have surprised me this season. I mean,
yeah,
I think we both said we didn't know what to expect from Chelsea,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they've been very good.
Mm.
You're not going to be able to give Chelsea too much space. I think we have to
Yeah,
respect them.
yeah.
Um, but it's going to be now interesting. How is he going to adapt to this kind of opponent? Because
Mm.
it's easy if you're playing against a Leicester second strength team in the League Cup, but
Yeah,
now his big test is going to come,
yeah.
and he's going to have to. And we all know he wants to stay, so
Mm.
this is his audition now
Yeah,
to show that he can actually do something. But I mean, he's done well at PSV before. Obviously, this is a massive step up.
yeah. He's a
Um,
manager. It's not like a
yes, yes,
caretaker
yes.
guy taking over for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He was
It's
in a
not
management
yeah.
role.
It's not a Michael Carrick who's come in or
Yeah,
Ryan Giggs or something.
yeah,
It's a guy who's done well with PSV. I mean, he had some good
yeah.
players. I think he had Gakpo there when he
Gakpo
was
was
in
there.
charge of PSV. I think he had Xavi Simons. I'm not sure if he was
Mm.
back there still at that
I
time.
think he was
But he
coming
had some,
through at the time. Yeah.
Madueke was there as well at the time,
Mm.
I think.
And that there
Um,
was a striker also. I can't remember his name though. But yeah,
um, yeah, I can't remember. I'm not too familiar with Dutch football.
yeah.
But yeah, let's see how how he approaches the game. I
Mm.
think a draw will be a decent result for United. It's not we can't expect miracles after 1 week.
Do you make Chelsea favorites?
Sure. United are such a tough team to lead. I mean, they were so good against West Ham in that first
And I
half, and they
think
somehow inspired still to lose that game.
yeah, the fact that you're home, I think that is
Yeah,
a massive factor. I think if,
Yeah, I
if
think.
Chelsea can manage the crowd and the
Mm.
the first open, and then I think they will win
Yeah, I
eventually.
think the crowd are really going to be up for it on
Like if they play
Sunday.
like the played against us, where they just keep the position, I think then they'll eventually break you
Mm.
down. But if
Yeah.
they don't, then they can easily get caught up in the back and forth, and you know what I mean.
Mm.
It's very
Well,
easy
I think
to
the
get
last
caught
thing
up.
Chelsea want is that same game that they had last season against United, that 4-3, where it was just attack,
The
attack,
one at
attack, attack
the when
at the
Palmer
bridge.
scored at the end. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But even
That
your
was just
game when you beat them, I think it was 2-1. That was also
yes,
quite a back and forth game. I think
yeah,
McTominay scored or some or
yes,
one of
yes,
them
yes, yes, yes.
a penalty.
So
Bruno scored a
I don't know.
penalty.
So yeah, I still don't know if we look if we, because United are so unpredictable and we don't know how they're really going to approach the game. I probably would make Chelsea's favorites,
Slightly, yeah.
which is quite sad. But you never
But it's
know. Ruud might just
understandable because you just lost the
mm,
manager. I mean, you didn't lose a
yeah,
manager for no reason
mm.
because they weren't
But
performing. So
you might still get that new manager bounce, even though he's a
yeah,
caretaker. You might still
in
get
the
that bounce.
caretaker bounce, yeah,
Yeah, even though yeah, it's not a, maybe it's not a Ralph Ranić.
yeah,
Um, and something maybe they might just come out and try to prove a point. Maybe the players think they're
yeah.
auditioning now for the showing try
From
to show the new
Amarum,
manager also.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm,
So I still think Chelsea will be slight favourites, but I kind of think it will be a draw.
mm, yeah. A draw. I think Chelsea
Mm,
will win 2-1.
mm.
Just just because
I can
just
see
because
that.
they're just a bit more settled.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. So other fixtures, actually, quite a few other good games like
mm.
Newcastle, Arsenal,
Yeah,
Spurs, Villas are quite a big game. Like that
yeah.
Sunday, all four
Was it?
teams, like it's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
day
yeah,
for the Champions League
yeah,
spots, especially for Spurs. Like
yeah.
they're actually just above, or they're not just above you, only 2 points above you.
Yeah, so I mean, I was listening to that. They were saying if United had to beat West Ham, they would have been above
Yeah,
Spurs, and
they would have
I
been above
think,
Spurs.
well, not from the Spurs fans directly, but people are starting to say that and should be under but more pressure now,
Mm,
which I kind of understand. I mean,
yeah,
he does get away with it more because people like him.
yeah.
He has that
But they all,
charisma,
but they
and he
also
plays
have a
attacking
different,
football.
they have a different level of expectation at Spurs
Yeah,
as compared to United.
mm,
They won last nights, so them being in the quarterfinal, I think it will subside the pressure.
mm,
If they
mm.
can advance there,
and
I think they will sacrifice a bit of league position to
yeah.
try and go for that trophy.
And he's promised to win a trophy this season. He said he always wins the
He
trophy every
says
second
in the
season.
second season, yeah. So
Yeah,
and
so
he has you next, so
yeah. Oh, is it draw out already?
yeah, you have Spurs away.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's Spurs away. You have Spurs away. We have Southampton away. Arsenal versus Palace at Emirates. Who's the other team? Newcastle versus Brentford. That's the other tie.
You never know. United are very much a cup team these days.
Yeah, and that game's only in the mid-December, so a lot can happen injury-wise and
Yeah,
form,
because of
especially.
Champions League now as well. That they
Yeah,
probably having to
like
push
that
fixtures
game
back.
might be part of your bounce that you get. So
Mm,
you
mm,
never know.
could be. Yeah,
Yeah. So the weekend starts with Arsenal going away to Newcastle. So last year was the game with the controversy with the ball going over the line when
yeah.
Newcastle won 1. I don't know if you remember. Then Gordon scored.
I think it was
Eh,
Gordon. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they appeal for foul also in the same
Yes.
in the same play.
Mm,
So yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game. I think
mm,
Arsenal usually just because of the way that they play, it generally means that the game is usually tighter
mm,
than normal. And I don't know, Newcastle they won yesterday. They're not in the best of form. They haven't actually been in the best of form the whole season.
mm,
But I think this one will be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1.
mm.
How do
I
you
don't
see
know.
that one?
Arsenal have this siege mentality these days.
Mm,
They think that everything and everyone's against them. The referees are against them.
yeah,
The injuries are going against them.
yeah,
Look,
or
sometimes it works for. I think it worked for United where you had this, where you try to rile your players up.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if Arsenal are quite there. To be honest,
yeah.
they need to focus the energy somewhere else. Um, so I mean, Saka's back. Odegaard's still out. Did Saliba get a
Saliba's
one
back.
match suspension?
Only
Yeah.
one
So
match.
you,
Yeah, he
why
played
was
last
that
night also
why was that a one match suspension instead of a three?
because it wasn't for a tackle.
Reckless, like being reckless, for
Yeah, it
instance.
wasn't a tackle. It was just pulling down someone. So
Okay, so
he
he's
got
back.
sent off because he wasn't going for the ball,
Mm.
basically, in the
But is
last game.
Gabriel? So I think is Gabriel out?
Gabriel, tomorrow they'll probably give an update on him. But they
Mm.
said it's not serious, so if he's not there tomorrow, he'll probably be back next week because they have Inter in
Mm.
the week away and
Mm.
then Chelsea away
Mm.
the next weekend. So they have a big 3 games ahead actually,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially in
So
Premier League.
I actually think Newcastle might sneak that one.
Oh, and Odegaard is touch and go for this one, but
Yeah, I
probably
wouldn't risk him though.
next weekend I also wouldn't.
Yeah,
But I don't.
because
Arteta he seems a bit desperate. He also keep him on the bench and put him on.
that's the thing. Like, if a player's been out for that long, you need to
Yeah,
give him a bit more time. You need to
just
get
leave
match
him.
ready. Like you don't want to take a risk because he has massive games
Yeah,
coming up now.
yeah,
Rather bring him on as a sub against Inter, and then you'll see for
yeah.
next weekend.
For next
But
weekend. Yeah.
yeah, I think Arteta he probably feels like he can't be too far behind City and Liverpool. Because what are they already 5 points or 6 points behind City and
Um.
Liverpool?
So Arsenal's on 18. So from City they're 5 points and 4 points behind us.
Yeah. So look,
So
he doesn't have much more room now
to
to,
play with, yeah, wiggle room, yeah.
mm, especially with
Especially
City.
Chelsea, the Chelsea or Wales. That's a big
Mm,
game next week.
yeah, because I mean, like if you think about it, so City only really get going in the second half of the season.
Yeah, yeah,
So if you're like 10 points behind them now,
yeah.
it's gonna
It's
then I think you can
curtains.
write off your chances. I
Change
think
your
you might as well just
priorities to Champions
yeah.
League or something.
So yeah,
But
so
yeah,
they need to keep up.
yeah. And then speaking of City,
Mm,
so just before we speak about the game, um, the player Rodri got the Ballon d'Or. When was it? Was it Monday?
was Monday, yeah.
I can't remember. There's so much crying about it. I can't even remember when it when it was.
Mm.
How do you feel about the decision?
That's absolute nonsense from Real Madrid. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't believe our club can be this petty. Look, I think
yeah,
it could have gone either way, the decision.
yeah.
But I think like Rodri is so pivotal to both City and Spain.
Who came third?
Um,
Was it Bellingham or
Bellingham
Cava?
came third, yes.
Bellingham third. Okay,
Carvalho came fourth, I think.
fourth. Okay.
Um, I don't understand that. Like, there's nothing that says that an attacker must win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
Um,
when Messi and Ronaldo were winning it all the time, people used to complain that other positions are being
yeah,
ignored, and
I,
then
think-
now they're complaining that it's not an attacker.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember. Like it was what's the season where Schneider came third? I don't even think
That
Schneider came
was
third.
2010
Yes, I mean Inter
when
won
Messi
a
won.
treble.
Yeah,
Yeah, Inter won a treble, and Netherlands got to a World Cup final,
the
and
final.
Schneider
Yeah,
was nowhere to be seen.
yeah.
And he was pivotal for both teams.
Where
Then
did
you
he end
had
up in that?
I can't even
Was
remember,
he?
and then
Sure,
and
but
yeah,
surely he
and
was on the podium.
he might have been. I don't know if Xavi or
I want to check
Iniesta came
quickly.
third. Yeah, go check
But it was
the
remember,
2010
but
Ballon d'Or,
yeah, it was Spain won
the World Cup.
the World Cup. Yeah, so Messi
Let's
won
have a
that
look.
one. Uh, Messi, Iniesta, Xavi.
Yeah,
Oh,
you see what I mean?
Schneider came fourth.
Nah, but I mean, come on, man.
But
Come on.
I don't agree Schneider should have won, but I think he should have been higher.
Maybe not have won, but I still think that forwards have been favored for far too long. So
Yeah,
maybe
like I think
I just don't get Real Madrid's
like
argument.
the way Madrid's going on. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way Madrid's going on, it's like some random player just came to to take the award. You know what I
I,
mean? Like Rodri's
I
a
mean,
worthy winner. He would have
yeah,
been a worthy winner last season also after they won the treble. He was
yeah.
my pick for the Ballon d'Or last
Like,
season already.
and I think, look, if Vinicius had to win, I don't think anyone would have really complained. But the same
Yeah,
goes for
exactly.
Rodri. It was like a flip of a coin.
Yeah, and the Euros also played a big part because they won it and Brazil got knocked out early or
Yeah,
quarterfinal.
and,
So
but if I was looking at Vinicius' stats, it wasn't like he didn't set the world on fire. He got 20 odd goals and
no, he
like
didn't.
10 or something.
Remember when Bellingham started the season? He was carrying Madrid a lot in that first half of the season.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Vinicius
exactly.
only afterwards Vinicius started taking over. So, but Rodri from the beginning of the season until the end of the season, he's consistent every game. You know what you get, and he has those clutch moments in him
Mm.
as well that win City matches,
Yeah,
and he
but
won
also,
the Champions League as well.
Vinicius didn't set himself up also because he was talking a lot about the Ballon d'Or before
I
the
don't know.
time and all these things, and and then they got beat by Barcelona as well. They got that 4-0.
Yeah,
So
for
it was
now,
a
so
horrible
happy.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
Barcelona were good.
yeah,
I'm going out of Premier League now, but Barcelona were brilliant in that game.
especially that second half. They
Yeah,
hung
I
on a
mean,
bit because Madrid
yes,
actually carved them open a few times. It's just their line, the offsides spoiled it
yeah,
for them. But that's their own fault. I mean, they should have timed their runs
yeah.
better,
They
especially
should look.
after the first two
Yeah,
times. Surely you can notice what's happening.
I don't think it was a 4-0 game, but Barca took their
Yeah,
chances, and
that was a
I
phone
think it
game.
was like what's about three of those four goals were so similar. Just a ball over the top and a man making the run, and
Yeah,
done.
and
They were
finish.
just efficient. It's like a typical German efficiency. You can see
Yeah,
they have a German coach.
yeah, yeah. And then the only player just before we move on to the next game, or actually to the City game, the only player that I think can feel robbed by a Ballon d'Or personally is Lewandowski
Yeah,
because they cancelled the freaking
for no
award
reason.
ceremony. That was unnecessary. Why they could have literally said we can't have a ceremony because of COVID,
Yeah,
but these are
mm,
we'll send you the award, the trophy, and these are the results. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
He really he was gonna win it that year.
yeah. No, 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 agreed, agreed. You should have won the
Like,
Ballon d'Or, and there was no reason for them to
all the
cancel it.
others, like people like you mentioned Schneider, some people mentioned Ribery, some people mentioned how
Mm,
can Iniesta not have won. And all of the winners at that time, they performed throughout that season as well. You know what I mean?
mm,
They
mm.
still won titles, and it's not like
Yeah,
like Messi
but
did
the thing,
nothing, like Ronaldo did
yeah,
nothing. You know what I mean? It's,
that's the thing. Like when you come up against a Messi or Ronaldo, those
you have
guys
to
are
be
just hitting like
exception another
they're
level.
hitting record numbers. It's going to
Exactly.
be so difficult to beat them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so City at the moment actually they have a lot of injuries. Apparently
Mm.
13 first team players at the
Oh,
moment. Sorry, it's not 13. Apparently there are 13 first team fit players at the moment,
okay.
and a few others are touch and go. So Pep described it as one of these worst injury situations since he's been at City. So and especially being away from him, I think it's going to be actually a tricky. I'm actually going for a draw in this one. I
Mm.
think Bournemouth play very good football. It's a tight pitch.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not an evening game for the atmosphere. But I think it will still be a difficult game for City. And
Mm.
they're not really, they only beat Southampton 1-0 last week.
Yeah.
Southampton missed
City
a
haven't been.
one on one as well. So
Mm.
I think it's gonna be a difficult afternoon for them,
City
potentially.
haven't really set the world alight so far this season.
Mm,
They've been grinding out results, but I mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. They all count for three
yeah,
points.
yeah,
I think, yeah, a draw is feasible. It's quite feasible.
yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if City just sneak at 1-0 or 2-0 again. They've
But
been doing it a lot this season.
yeah, but I think eventually that absence of Rodri is gonna catch up with him.
Mm,
But luckily, they do have obviously the option in January to go and try and find somebody
mm,
to play in the midfield.
yeah.
So yeah, so I think that's gonna be a draw. So I mean, Brighton for the second time in the same week. I hate these fixtures where you
Mm,
play the team in the cup and then in the league because I don't know if it's an official stat somewhere, but it always just feels difficult to beat the same team twice in the same week.
mm. I think
But
it's almost like the game's very different. Also,
yeah, at least we home in this one. So
yeah.
yeah, but Brighton actually have a good record against us. I think they've drawn two of the last three games at Anfield.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to be easy. Yeah, but I think we should get over the line. I
Mm,
think
yeah.
we don't have any. I think it's still Jota and Allison that's out. Chiesa hasn't been in really, so
Where
he's
is
still
he
out.
injured?
Yeah, he's injured. So apparently he came back to training. Well, Slot said he trains and then he goes out, and then he trains and then he goes out with another injury. So I don't know. I
I
think it's more. I think the international break because I doubt Italy will select him, so he'll probably
mm,
just stay until. Actually, I think he should be back, and Elliot is also coming back after the international break.
okay.
So I think we'll probably. I'll go with a 2-0. I think we'll keep a
Mm,
clean sheet
yeah.
in
I,
this
I
one.
I think so too. I was gonna go. I would say 2-0 as well.
Yeah. And then, so the next big fixture is the Spurs game. But just before
Mm.
we go there, Southampton, Everton, your club that you pointed out on a few occasions, they actually managed to get a few results. They're out of the relegations. They have 9 points. The last time we
Yeah,
spoke, they had zero.
I was going to target Crystal Palace next, but then they also decided to win again. I don't know who I'm going to go for now. If I'm going to go
Yeah,
for
and they
Ipswich.
beat Villa in the away in the cup also. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm going to have to now pick on Ipswich or Southampton.
But Southampton
Um,
also now recently I've watched like the game against City and the previous game where they lost 3-2. They're
mm,
starting to play a bit better, similar to Everton where they were playing a bit better, but they
mm,
were still losing. And then eventually they got, I think they could, like Wolves also. Wolves similar. That Wolves Palace game is actually
mm,
a big game for the bottom of the log. Wolves haven't won a game yet,
mm. But
so it's also a
so
big
so
game
so, so
for
Gary
them.
Neville, I think it was great. Gary Neville was talking about on the Stick to Football podcast, and he was saying that the
Mm,
gap between the promoted sides now and then the rest of the teams it's just
yeah.
getting wider and wider every season.
Mm,
That's the problem. Like these teams might look decent, but if you look at the other 17 Premier League teams, do you look at them and really think, you know what, these guys can go down? I don't
yeah.
think so. Like you look at like Palace were in trouble, but
No, I don't
I don't
think
think
they'll
they're
go
gonna.
down.
I
Yeah,
don't think they're gonna get
yeah.
relegated. Everton,
I
they look
I
like
think
they're in trouble.
I think Leicester has a chance to stay up.
Yeah, but then who's gonna go down? That's the thing.
That's a
From like
possibility.
your because like
Oh,
those 17 Premier League,
yeah,
those 17 guys that were there last season, they all look fairly settled. Like none of them
yeah,
look like they are in
yeah.
trouble this season. Maybe Wolves, but Wolves
Maybe
again
Wolves,
had
but even
a
Wolves, like
difficult run though.
yeah, that exactly. The fixtures are gonna pick up, and then
Yeah.
I think you'll see on fantasy like they have like just like green
Mm.
number two difficulty ratings.
And I like Forest have been in trouble for the last couple of seasons, but look at them now. Are they like
Yeah,
where are they like sixth or seventh on the table?
yeah. But that's because they're very defensively
Yeah,
strong.
as a
So
very much a Nuno
sorry.
Espirito Santo team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like unfortunately for the promoted teams, maybe I think yeah I do think Leicester have the best chance of staying up, but
Mm.
the other teams that just look
It's gonna
settled,
be
they
tight.
yeah,
Or it
it's gonna
could
be
be
very
Leicester, but they will be like the third from bottom, battling with the fourth
mm,
from bottom
yeah.
club. Yeah,
But as I said, I don't know who's gonna go down then because I don't think I think Palace's thing. I think they'll come right and they will
yeah,
start picking up results. I
yeah.
still have Everton. Still a bit unsure about Everton.
No, Everton.
Just because
Everton. I don't know what they're playing well. Then recently they haven't like the last game they drew. They should have lost that game against Fulham.
mm,
They were so average. I don't
but
know.
also now the ownership situation has been resolved.
Yeah,
So maybe that there's a bit more certainty around the
they have
club.
enough quality. They have enough quality there to not be in a
Yeah, but they're
relegation
still
battle
very
towards the
actually
back
young.
end of a season. Yeah, I can't believe he's still starting. Oh, sorry,
Exactly.
he's actually only starting because what's Mikolenko? I don't know if that's how you
Oh
say
yeah,
his
yeah, the
name.
left
I
back.
think he has an
Yeah,
injury, so he's just filling in.
but they're still
But
starting
but
Calvert
but
Lewin.
we see him too much on the TV
Yeah,
in 2024.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so so Spurs Villa, the big game that we didn't really get into. So
Mm,
Villa, uh, we mentioned slightly earlier, doing very well this season. They are out of
mm,
the Carabao Cup now, so they have some extra rest in between games.
mm.
Um, do you think this is a game for John Duran to get a start, or do they still keep
He,
going? They're actually still keeping this going, where they just bring him on for the last, like after the
and
hour mark, then they bring him on.
he's starting to get frustrated though, eh?
Mm.
Was there a game that he started recently and then they took him off and he was not happy? I think it was a game recently.
I know
He
he
started
started
a
in the
game.
cup. He started the cup game. Maybe it was the previous cup game. Oh, maybe I
I
think it
can't
was
remember.
maybe the Champions League.
Was it the Champions League? I
I
can't
think it
remember. It
was their
was a game he
third.
started.
It was their third
Mm.
Champions League game. I think. Yeah.
And they took him off and this guy was not happy
Yeah.
about it. But look, I think he's 20s. He's still so
Mm,
young. He has to manage not really manage the game time because he doesn't really start.
yeah.
But the system works for Villa.
He
That's the
has a
thing.
lot of football ahead of him as well.
Yeah, and the system works. I mean, he comes on, he scores a goal, they win a game.
Yeah.
What, but if the system works, and then that's life. He either
Exactly.
has to leave
Yeah.
or he has to accept his fate.
Yeah.
It worked for United with especially in the 90s with Solskjaer and Sheringham. Those
Mm,
guys accepted that that's also the way it was going to be, and they
Yeah,
won trophies. I mean, as I said,
yeah,
no one's if he needs to leave to further his career, then he needs to
yeah,
because he's a good player. I mean, at some point, I don't expect him to accept this for the rest of his
yeah,
life.
yeah. No,
Um,
but he's still young, like you said. So you will
yeah, he's,
eventually get it. And Watkins
give
won't be fit though. He is always picking up
yeah,
a
give it
hamstring
till the
or
end of the
some
season or something
growing.
and assess it from there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's basically all the fixtures. I don't know if there's anything else you want to touch on before we. Oh, sorry.
I,
Last score prediction for the Spurs
oh,
for the game.
I would
How do you
say
think? How
2-2.
things go?
2-2.
Oh, you see goals in that one.
Especially
That's a
with
good
Spurs.
guess. Mm,
Spurs are all over the place.
yeah, I think that's a good shot. Oh, it's such a difficult game to call. Actually,
Mm,
I think so. I'll give it to Spurs 3-2.
uh, Phew, that's
I'll give
brave.
it to
Like I
Spurs.
said,
I'll
Spurs,
give it to
okay,
Spurs.
Spurs are also another unpredictable team.
Just because they're home,
You know,
also.
but the defense is so poor.
Mm.
They play that
Yeah,
high line.
still, I can
Um,
see goals definitely.
mm. And yeah, and the thing with Villa is they're so consistent. It's a
Yeah,
typical Unai Emery team. They're just
they're
super
well
organized.
organized.
They're
Yeah,
super organized. You know what you're going to get from them. There's like no major drop off in performance. They don't
yeah,
get battered if they lose. It's such a tight game.
yeah,
So yeah, Spurs might win this game, but I think it's going to be a tight one. I do see
yeah.
goals. I see quite a few goals.
Yeah, hopefully it should be a good
Yeah,
Sunday. I hope
both
just that
games. Yeah, both
you
games.
Newcastle must just get the ball rolling with the result in the opening
Yeah, I'm tired of
the opening
I'm
game
tired
on
of
the
Arsenal
weekend.
to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm tired of Mikel Arteta and his
I'm
antics.
tired of them moaning. Why are they moaning
Yeah,
for
no,
for
I'm so tired of it.
nonsense? Oh, they're
I'm
so
so tired of them.
unnecessary.
This is I never minded Arsenal. I actually used to like Arsenal when they were doing
Mm,
badly. And now they're just
yeah,
starting to annoy me. They're starting to annoy the hell out of me now. I need them to go back down to seventh to tenth.
yeah,
I'm not one to talk as a United fan,
yeah.
but
But
they
it's
just need to
actually
behave themselves.
it's funny, when you were when Arsenal were challenging you, they were
Mm,
always known as to stick to their brand of football, especially under Wenger. Like people used to
mm.
complain that they always try to walk the ball into the into the
Yeah,
net, and now in the attempt to be successful again, they're actually doing the complete opposite. They're going with
yeah.
defending, grinding out the results and things. So it's quite
Jamie Carragher
interesting.
called yesterday. Jamie Carragher said that Mikel Arteta is basically a mini Jose Mourinho.
He's trying. I think he's trying to be. I don't think he said he is.
Mm,
He's trying to be. That
yeah,
character drama queen on the
because and especially
sideline.
the style of play, also using the dark arts, play
Yeah,
the
oh
more
my
defensive
word.
brand of football, players rolling
Saka,
around on the floor.
Saka lumping every 22
Yeah,
seconds. Oh my word.
so yeah, look, at least they're getting what they deserve now.
Yeah.
They've drawn quite a few games. They've
But
lost
they're still
one as
there.
well.
They're still there.
Yeah, but look, they
Yeah.
can't afford too many more slip ups. Eh? They
Yeah.
need to. As we know, the thing is, if City have so many injured players, and they're going to stay
Mm,
above them,
yeah.
then Arsenal going to be trouble. And Arsenal shouldn't be complaining about injuries when, as you said, City have only 13 first team players.
Exactly. No, Arsenal
So
they only have like two or three out.
yeah,
So
no, the
major.
excuses aren't going to last. I don't know if he's trying to
Yeah.
deflect the pressure now
Mm,
because the fans are going to start expecting things now. Like this is his
yeah.
third season of
Yeah.
competing for the title. He's going to
Yeah.
have to start delivering at some point. You can't like Jurgen Klopp took a few years, but I mean that
Mm.
you can't compare that City team to the City team. I thought that City team was better than the current City.
I agree. It's just
Yeah,
I would swap Rodri for Fernandinho
yeah.
probably. But Fernandinho was still at that time. He was still one of the top uh,
Mm.
teams in the world.
So at some point, Arsenal are going to have to deliver. Yeah, they're
So
still a
yeah,
young team, but
I
time's
think
running
that's
out for Arteta.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. But the sounds of it seems like they're going to extend, like give him another deal,
Yeah, look,
extend it into
to
the
be
season.
fair, he's done an excellent job, but he
Mm.
needs to take it to the next level now.
Yeah,
He's won an FA Cup, but that's
yeah.
during the COVID time. I
They need
mean,
to do a bit better in the Champions League.
mm, they need a semi-final run.
Yeah.
They need to actually knock out a big team to prove themselves. Because
Mm.
last season they got through against what's it, Porto on
Yeah.
penalties, and then they lost, and
And
then they lost to Bayern.
Bayern. Yeah. And the Porto, yeah, they just scraped through on penalties, like you said. So.
So they need to prove themselves this year.
Mm. I suppose that Inter way will be a good test for them next week because Inter's
Bef-
are
bef-
actually
bef-
one of the top
mm,
favorites
mm.
for the
Before we
Champions League.
leave, before we leave, I think it was again Jamie Carragher or Paul Scholes that said Arsenal don't have that fear factor yet. Like
Mm,
they don't when they play against Liverpool. Like he said, when City play against them, City don't look or don't from the outside doesn't seem as City are as scared of them as they are with
yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah.
And so Arsenal need to instill that fear factor into their opponents.
I think it's also because of the style of play that we had and the attackers that we had with the Mane and
Mm,
Salah. I think that is
yeah.
where, like, there's a famous clip of Pep in the, I don't know if it's the dressing room, but speaking to one of the coaches about how worried he is about the Salah, Mane, and
Mm,
Firmino attack. So
yeah.
that's probably where the bit of fear comes from.
Yeah.
We weren't like parking the bus and countering. We were taking it to
Mm,
them. So we Arsenal
yeah.
is a different way of that they're going about it.
Mm,
So yeah.
agreed.
But anyway, thank you for joining me. Hope everyone enjoy the show. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the fixtures. Good luck to all your teams, except for obviously United. Yeah, and we will see you probably for. I'm gonna try and do a fantasy show tomorrow, but
Well,
you will see that on the channel. So click the notification bell, and you'll get notified when that happens. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
thanks everyone. Bye bye.